Hello, happy Friday's Eve, happy Thursday, and welcome to Travel Talk Live. We're here for another week, another session. I'm Tabitha, owner and founder of the Travel Krewe, where we create phenomenal travel experiences for phenomenal people. How's everyone doing? We have made it to the end of almost another week. Y'all, it is almost August. I'm telling you, time is going by really fast. So we're at the end of July, headed into August. How are you feeling out there? I hope everyone is doing well. Um, wow, I'm getting comments already. I see you pouring in. Thank you again for supporting us. Um, if you're out there, feel free to drop some comments and questions in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you could be tuning in from the Facebook business page for the Travel Krewe. Also, we have our YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate the support. And of course, if you're in our Travel Talk Live Facebook group, I say it every week, but hey, let's just keep on repeating it. It's no big deal. If you are going to post a comment and you're in the Facebook group, the Travel Talk group, you will need to register, and you'll see there should be a link that you can register your name. You only have to do it once. And then that way I'll see who's making a comment. If you choose not to register, and hey, it's your choice, then just go ahead and say who you are, or else I won't know who's making the comments. It's just so I know. But hey, maybe you just want to remain anonymous, and that's good. Mystery never hurt anybody. Let's see. We already got Andrea in the house. Hey, girl. Happy Thursday to you too. I appreciate the support. So, like I said, if you're out there, go ahead and just drop a little hello in the comment section. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you staying cool. It hasn't been too bad. I mean, it's always warm, but there's been some rain, so that's helped with the cooling things down. And I hope you are feeling okay. And let's see. Oh, I have my Facebook user. This is what I'm saying, y'all. I only see Facebook user, but thank you for the little wave. I appreciate it. So you can either, like I said, if you're tuning in from our Facebook group, you can register. And when you register, then I'll be able to see who's talking to me. Or you can just go ahead and type it in and let me know who it is. But I'm waving back to whoever waved at me. Thank you so much. Oh, that was Trudy. Hey, Trudy. Thank you. And I see some more of you all pouring in. Thank you again for supporting me. Uh-oh, Zelly Boo's here. She says she's here because she's a foodie. Okay, girl. Thank you again for tuning in. I always appreciate the support. So if you're tuning in, like I said, you can be on our Facebook business page, our YouTube channel, or the Facebook group. And tonight we're going to talk about food. So I definitely want some feedback, comments, and questions on this because I want to learn as much from you all as you may learn from me tonight. So what I want to talk about with food, let's all admit, we know when we go on vacation, we eat because that just seems like it's part of the process. I know everybody stops counting their calories, or most people. I'm pretty sure there's some of y'all that are really strict, and I'm very proud of you. But a lot of us seen vacations. What people even say, calories don't count on vacation. But this isn't necessarily to talk about, overindulgent or anything like that. But it's to talk about how food can enhance your travel experience, especially when you're traveling outside of the United States. And I'm not even going to limit it to the United States. It could be when you're traveling outside of your area, because where a lot of you are tuning in from are in the New Orleans area. I know I have people outside of that, and I appreciate you for tuning in, but a lot of us are in the New Orleans area. And so you already know when people come here, it's just a whole different type of palate that they getting exposed to and stuff. So, it's just when you travel and stuff, food can just enhance the experience. So I want to go on with that. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna touch on some tips of why you need to make sure that a food experience needs to be worked into your travel experience. Why it's so important to make sure that you embrace that. So, in other words, and I've heard of people doing this. I've heard of people they go to another foreign country and all they ate was American chain fast food the whole time. meaning like they went to Italy and just ate at McDonald's the entire time because they were just too scared to branch out. Or what else have I seen around? KFCs. There's a lot of KFCs. And shoot, I've seen Burger King in Italy. I saw churches in Dubai. I mean, y'all, American fast food chains are out there. And I'm not knocking it because sometimes it is a safety thing. Like if your palate just hasn't, adjusted to where you are, it's good. But don't rob yourself of just trying something new. So while I'm talking, I would love to hear about your favorite dish that you have experienced while on vacation. Whether it was just a totally new dish to you or it was something you had never tried it that way before. And no, I'm not talking about you ate at the Popeyes in Florida and it was different than the Popeyes in New Orleans. I mean, give me something. I want to hear about it. Let me know what you liked about it or even what you didn't like about it. Were you scared to try it? Did you enjoy it? Just let me know. So y'all put that in the comment section. That's what I want to hear about. But let's go ahead and get started and let's talk about why food is one of the good things to experience when you're traveling. Okay. So the number one thing is you discover foods you've never tried before. Like I said, food can be so regional, things that you eat in your hometown. Like not everybody knows what a po' boy is. Or if they do know what a po' boy is, not everybody fixes it like you're going to get here in New Orleans and stuff. Not everybody's going to know when you go order a sandwich and say, I want it dressed. They don't know what that means. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know what dressed means, typically when you're here and you say you order a sandwich and the waitress or waiter will ask you, do you want that dressed or how do you want it dressed? Dress usually means mayonnaise, lettuce, tomatoes, and most places, pickles. There are some places that don't consider pickles part of their dress. So like me, if I'm ordering it, I'll say, yeah, dress no tomatoes, that kind of thing. But that's just something that's unique here. Not everybody does it because I made the mistake, not a mistake, just I'm so used to saying I want something dressed. And I was in another state and I said, and the waitress looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, sorry, I forgot where I was. So I'm just saying there's new experiences like that. So, so number one, you discover new foods that you've never tried before. It is interesting. And the thing with that is like, you're exposed to things that maybe you didn't consider that you would eat before. Like in South Africa, one of the restaurants we went to, and actually we'll be going back to this restaurant. What I liked about them is they just kind of, for lack of a better word, had a smorgasbord. I don't know what you want to say, like just tastes of different areas and stuff. And it was just interesting to see these different flavors, or like one was like a pumpkin soup, I think. It, a little bit colder. That's not something I would be used to, but it was interesting just to see it and to taste these new things. Some things I liked, some things I didn't, but it was different. And that just added to the experience. It made me really feel like I had gone somewhere else to this new land and stuff, because not only was I seeing these new different things, but I was experiencing it, having a little taste and things like that. And so I think like you would rob yourself of that you don't get that experience to try something new. And it's, or even not just trying something that you never heard before, but sometimes it's trying foods that you've heard of, but for some reason you get a lot bolder when you go on vacation. Does anybody feel that way? Like when they step out and go on vacation, it's like, I don't know, your guard gets down, or maybe you get bucked up, booted up and stuff, like, you ready to try something, stuff that, you've heard of, but you would never try at home. I'm going to give you an example. My family is from Mississippi. Okay. My mom, my dad, they're from Mississippi. So my family's from Mississippi. I went to college in Florida and have a lot of people of Caribbean influence, Caribbean backgrounds and stuff. Yeah, I had never tasted oxtails. Now I got people in Mississippi, plenty of friends of Caribbean, but I never had oxtails until I went to South Africa. For some reason, that's when I tried could have had oxtails before, but never tasted them till I went to South Africa. And it was funny because the person who told me to go ahead and taste it was also originally from Mississippi. And she said, she's like, aren't your people from Mississippi? How have you not eaten oxtails? I'm like, I don't know. And I tried them and it was so good. Oh my God. The oxtails was so good. And it's funny that I had to go to South Africa to try them, but now I eat them back here in New Orleans. You know, my aunt made some not too long ago, and she called. She's like, "You want some oxtails?" I'm like, "Yes, indeed, I do." And it's just funny that, you know, it took that vacation experience for me to go try something different, something, you know, that I've been around and I've heard of, but I didn't try it until I went out there. So, you know, it's, you get a little bit bolder to try stuff. Recently in Puerto Rico, I tried octopus. I don't ever have to try it again. I really don't. But I could put it on I could put it on my list that I tried it. Didn't like it. I didn't order it. It was a travel crew trip, and somebody was on the trip ordered it, and she asked me to taste some of it. I don't ever need to try it again, but I tasted it. So it's different things like that that you get to experience and stuff. So I'm gonna check out the comment section. Let me see. All right, Sally, what you saying? Real street jerk chicken in Jamaica. The flavor was through and through with meat falling off the bone. Yes. Yes. I can believe that. And you know, y'all, don't sleep on those street markets either. When you go to these other countries, there is not just let me see what I'm trying to say. It's not just always in a restaurant. You're gonna find a lot of people at I don't want to say on the street, but like, you know, they do have setups that you can just buy food, like street vendors and stuff like that. And that's like some good stuff going down. So don't sleep on that. Let's see. Somebody else said, I grew up in NOLA, but didn't try oxtails until I moved to Houston after Hurricane Katrina. So good. See, that's the thing. You got into a new area. You're like, maybe I try it. So yes, I feel you on that. See, you were better than me. You just went to Houston. I had to take my butt all the way to South Africa before I tried. But yes, oxtails, that's something. So yes, so that's it. You know, one thing is you get to discover new foods that you never tried before, and then sometimes you just get a little bit more bold to try the foods that that you've always heard about. Yeah, I think octopus, that was different. Seen it, didn't need to try it again. And the oxtail. So next on my list about that, and I do see some more people tuned in. So let me just say thank you for tuning in. We're talking about food and travel and stuff. And I'm Tabitha, owner and founder of the Travel Krewe, if you didn't know. So let's get back to the discussion. The next thing is you're going to experience foods you eat at home in an entirely different way. Because I think that's unique too, to be like, oh, this is how they make chicken wings here. You know, everybody does it differently. And it's just kind of, I like when I travel, I like to see what other countries do differently and what other countries do the same as us. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it kind of takes away that barrier that we're all so different. And then we see that we're not as different as we thought we were, that there's a lot of similarities and stuff. And then also, I think it brings a respect to the fact of, I think some people get so biased in a way and against people because they're not, that person may not do something exactly the way that you may do it. Doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong. It just means they're different. And so I feel food is that way too. Like, let's see what we have, you know, in common, and let's see how we may, you know, do it a little differently. So I think it is a good chance to experience foods in a new way. Like, let's see how they cook it just a little bit different. Like, I know I keep going back to South Africa, but it's probably where I felt like I had the biggest, you know, I guess your biggest difference in my normal eating palette. And barbecue in South Africa is different. than a way, we get in the barbecue, your uncle, your daddy get on the grill and smoke it out and then have the barbecue sauce and stuff. Usually it's like dripping in a barbecue sauce. It's a different type of sauce in South Africa. It's a different way they cook it. They call it I'm gonna mispronounce it, a bomba, or is it a boma? A boma. And that's like, it's a big thing, and it's an outdoor thing and all of that. And they put corn, just like we would put corn on a grill and stuff like that. The grill is set up a little bit different, but it's just interesting to see what it's like to go to their barbecue as opposed to one of ours and stuff like that. They got music playing. It may not be Frankie, and people may not be doing the electric slide or the bus stop, but it's just a different experience. So it's kind of I just think it adds to it. Like, let's see what they do a little bit differently than what we do. And y'all go ahead and put some more things. I want to hear what y'all try, what has stood out. I've heard about the jerk chicken. I've heard somebody agree with me about the oxtails. Let me know what you've tried while on vacation that you like. Or if that you can't think of something, but I'm pretty sure you did, you just don't want to say it. Let me know what you're interested in trying, like what you've heard of that you've always wanted to experience when you visited somewhere. Okay, so next on the list, another reason why it's a good thing to incorporate food is a country's food tells you a lot about their culture. It will tell you things like the vegetarian palate. Like, you'll find some countries vegetables are more at the forefront. You will see where certain meats are frowned upon and others are celebrated. You will see like the type of seasonings they use. It just kind of the way they congregate or gather for the food and stuff. It's just, it just gives you a whole different experience. It just pours into it and lets you know, like, okay, this is different. Puerto Rico, it was a lot more seafood and chicken at the forefront. I'm not saying they didn't eat other meats, but that's what I saw more of. In Dubai, of course, it wasn't flooded with red meat. In fact, a lot of the restaurants didn't have it. It was available and stuff in there, but it's not as abundant as it is in America. Also, y'all, this is a trip that y'all may not have known, but a lot of the restaurants in Dubai, because there's so many people coming in from the West, have to get special licenses to sell pork. So, that's just something we wouldn't even think about here in the United States, because we'll go buy some pork in a hot minute and stuff. But what you have is, of course, with all the people, pouring in from Western cultures and stuff, we eat pork, especially for breakfast. We good for having a bacon, sausage, and stuff. And now that I said it, I did this. Just side note, I'm gonna come back to breakfast later. But there are certain restaurants that get special licenses to actually sell pork in Dubai, which is, it's interesting. I don't want to call it mind blowing, but it's just interesting. It tells a lot about the culture and how pork is in that, how it's viewed in that culture and stuff, to the point that you have to get a special license because it goes against, their beliefs and stuff, that they don't eat pork. What I did see at the hotel, I'm trying to think, I don't recall seeing pork at the particular hotel I was at for breakfast, but they had substitutes, like they had chicken sausage, which actually was pretty good. Things like that. So they had things similar to what we would eat in the States and stuff, but it was done a little differently. So that's what I'm saying. Things like that, it kind of gives you an idea of the culture. Like, pork is not prevalent. Maybe vegetables are more focused on eating from the earth, things like that. So it's just a new experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let me backtrack. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna go back to explore foods you'd eat in a new way. What I wanted to say is a tip, and I'm going to make this a tip for you guys. Something I tell people when they're traveling, because I have had people ask me about the food and they get concerned and stuff like that. Like, what am I, I'm not sure about this, and what can I eat? And, you gotta, so on and so forth. I always tell people, fill up at breakfast and The reason why I say that is breakfast, a lot of times, since in my travels, I'm pretty sure I find something that'll just be totally off guard. Breakfast seems to be kind of universal. I know there are things that are a little different, but what I'm pretty much saying is you're gonna find some eggs, you can find some toast. You may not find this, your pork sausage, but like I said, they had chicken sausage in Dubai. You're gonna find muffins, fruit. You're always gonna find some fruit. If you are somewhere that follows the European culture, you may find they eat tomatoes and baked beans. That's the thing. They eat baked beans for breakfast. I'm just saying. So breakfast, I always tell people, eat up at breakfast. If you're nervous about what you're gonna eat throughout the day and whatever country you're visiting, fill up at breakfast because breakfast is pretty much where you are definitely going to find things that you eat at home. So that was just my tip. And it is interesting to see how maybe they do things, what fruits they like to have at breakfast as opposed to maybe what we will have at breakfast. Sometimes the way they do muffins. I know I had a croissant in Italy that best croissant I've had. It like with a light sprinkle of sugar. It was really good. And so every morning in Italy, I was trying to get one of those croissants. It just little things like that. So that's just a little side note, a little tip. But let me see. I see there's a question in here. Let me go here. All right, what you asking? I hear Italy's food ain't all that. Well, okay. I like to be truthful. I'm trying to figure out how I can answer this. Okay, let me say this. The wine is good. The gelato is off the chain. Y'all, it was so bad with the gelato that there was in Rome, there was a gelato place like down the street, just a few steps down from the hotel. And so sometimes like at the end of our day, we would go walk down there and get gelato. It's sad when you walk in and the people working behind the counter know you because you've been going there so much throughout your stay. So the gelato is off the chain. I'm not going to say that the Italian food there is bad because this is what I'm saying though. How are you going to tell people in Italy that they making Italian food wrong? Is it bad or it's just not the way you eat it? So I would say that it's not the way that we eat Italian food. I still laughed that there were some ladies in the corner talking about, "Ooh, I don't make my red gravy like this," and complaining about it. But you got to think, you can't tell an Italian person they're making Italian food wrong. Just let that sink in. I'm going to say that it's a more less processed sauce, maybe a little bit more blander than what you're used to because it's not how we would do things. Of course, all their sauces are fresh and homemade. I will be honest, I didn't need to eat pizza or pasta probably for 2 or 3 months after I returned back to the States. And I actually love pizza and pasta, but I didn't want it. I was so tired of it. So it's a lot of it. I was really tired of pizza and pasta. Excuse me. I was tired of the pizza and pasta, but it wasn't bad. It's just not what you're used to here. But it's a lot of pizza and pasta offered. And salads. I don't know if y'all tuned into the last session. I was talking about people in the salad. And no, ranch dressing is not universal. You're gonna get oil and vinegar as your dressing. But I am gonna say this. Some of the best meals I had in Italy, they were actually not in Rome, but in Florence. So I had a steak sandwich. It was just a lunch special. It was really good. And you know what? The next meal was in Rome. I had lamb chops. That's another thing. I had never tried lamb chops until I went to Italy. Not that they weren't available in the United States. I just never had them. And so I ate lamb chops in Rome. And those were really good too. So I'm not going to say that all of the food is bad in Italy. But what I am going to say is that the pizza and pasta is not what you're used to. So I hope that answered your question. That was a good question, by the way. All right. So we talked about, you can try foods you never tried before. And thank you for asking because I forgot I had never tried lamb chops until I went to Italy. You can get bold when you go on vacation to try different foods. Like I said, I tried octopus. You can experience foods you eat at home in a new way. Like I mentioned the croissant that I ate in Italy, a croissant in Italy, but anyway. Um, and also a food that I ate in a different way that I really love. My favorite thing that I had in Dubai, believe it or not, was lemonade. It was a mint lemonade, and it was made with fresh mint. It was frothy. And when I saw it, I was a little skeptical because it looked like a green smoothie almost. And I was like, I ordered lemonade. What is this stuff? But it is one of the most refreshing drinks I had while I was in Dubai. So that was something. Like I said, it was a new experience. I loved it. It was very, very, very refreshing. Okay, so the next thing is food brings people together. Um, you know how it is. I mean, just like you gather here with your family and friends and stuff. When you travel, food can bring that together too. It makes you maybe want to talk when you see somebody's plate and you're like, I wonder what that is. And you might, lean over and ask somebody, especially if you hear like you're in a foreign country and you hear they speak English or something like that. You may ask them, what is that? What's it made of, or something like that. It brings you have that element of creating new friends, but then also with the people that you're eating with, you have something to talk about. Maybe you want to share plates and stuff, and that's really good. Like with the travel crew group trips and stuff like that. Sometimes you're with people that you never knew prior to the trip. So on our travel crew experiences, it's just whoever wants to go books and goes on the trip. And you're with these people and stuff, but here's this meal, and now y'all can sit around the table, learn about each other, talk about the different foods, share the plates and stuff like that. It's just a good thing. That's something we had in Puerto Rico. Actually, one of the tours was a culture experience tour with the food included, and we just got to sit around and learn about the different ways that they prepare food, the history behind it and stuff, and incorporating it into just the everyday thing. Especially we were in the Afro Latina Puerto Rico, Larita, and just seeing how all the tastes from African and stuff work their way into Puerto Rico. So it's a good thing. So think about that. The experience of just being with people. And I like that. We talked to locals when we were in Puerto Rico. We talked to the people that were cooking the food. Just stuff like that. It can just add to the experience. One of the people that went to Puerto Rico told me, like when we were out there in Larissa, like I said, that's the black area of Puerto Rico. She was like, I feel like I'm really in Puerto Rico now. And that's the thing. We weren't doing like huge tourist stuff, but we were with the people. And some of the things that we did was we sampled a lot of the food. So that was a good thing. So think about that. Food can bring people together. And the other thing is you gain new flavors and dishes to try at home. I hear plenty of people talking about spices. They go, when they travel, they bring spices back home and stuff because they tasted something, they just had to have it, or you come home and you try to recreate it. I know I don't think she mastered it yet, but after South Africa, my mother was trying to master the flavor of vanilla ice cream in South Africa. Because believe it or not, vanilla ice cream, that's not even my favorite flavor. But it was served a lot as dessert when we were there, and everybody was running for it because it's it's got such a good vanilla taste. I came back from Dubai and I had all these great naturally flavored teas, like the pure tea leaves and stuff like that. Just stuff to bring home and just incorporate. So it's just a new experience. And when you do that, guys, you're gonna have those fond memories because you're thinking, I had this when I was here, I had this feeling, it was fun and everything like that. So it's just a really good thing to do. And so that's what I'm saying. Don't think food is, don't push food to the side. Work food into your experience and stuff. I'm not mad at you if you go run to McDonald's, KFC, Popeyes. I'm not mad at all. I'm just saying, don't base your whole experience, especially when you're in another country, and not try something. Just try something. And you may not like it, But it may not necessarily be that it's nasty or as much as it's just different. And that's just not the way that you are used to eating it. But it's just, oh, this is how they eat it. It's pretty, okay. You're experiencing something new. But I'm just putting that out there. But I get it, because let me say this, I do I do try to I like on our trips to be somewhere near that somebody can find some food to eat. They're not that far from like a shopping area, because I know not everybody wants to try the food. And so, they look for something that looks like a fast food, a familiar fast food sign. And I'm saying signs because sometimes the restaurants are called different, because in Dubai, churches is called Texas fried chicken or something like that, but the symbol is the same. And that's how, we're like, oh, look, a churches, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying, go ahead and try it. You'll be shocked what you find out. It may be good, it may not be good, but it's an experience. Let me see. Andrew, you said sounds delicious, girl. Was that the tea that you? I mean, not the tea. The lemonade. Let me know what you were talking about. Do I remember any delicatessens in South Africa, Paris, Italy, Mexico that shocked your palate in a good way or a bad way? Girl, these are good. Mexico, nothing shocks me pretty much. I love Mexican food, but let me tell you this, and I tell people, and they laugh. The best Mexican food I ever tasted was in Epcot in Florida. So if any of y'all have ever been to Disney's Epcot, if you don't know, when you work, okay, let me act like y'all have never been to Epcot before. So anybody that hasn't been to Epcot in Disney is divided up into countries. So in other words, you go into Mexico, to France, to Spain, that's England. They divide it up like that in Epcot. And in addition to them dividing it up into countries, they hire employees from that country. So we can't go work in the English pavilion for England and stuff. It's not going to work. They want natives or people from that country, to work there. So in Mexico, in Epcot, there are people from Mexico working there, and I had some of the best Mexican food ever. So Mexican food doesn't really shock me. Let's see, Italy. What shocked me in a good or bad way in my palate in Italy? I told you about the croissant. Their bacon, I was very impressed. They have their bacon is a softer texture, and the cut is a little different. So it doesn't come out as strips. It's kind of rounded, but it's got a good taste. So I was pleasantly surprised with the bacon. What I think the biggest shock was just that I wasn't as fond of pasta and pizza as I thought I would be. And I was over it after a while. I was just like, oh God, more pasta and pizza. So that's what prompted me to try the lamb chops, because I was like, I need to just try something different. And those were good. And I was shocked that Italy like nailed a steak sandwich like it did. But it was good. Gelato just was like the top of the chain. It was really good. I had greens, y'all, in Italy, because Italy was like an experience with also with a church, and some people cooked food for us and they made greens. So that was a pretty cool thing. So the greens were good. Probably the thing that stood out the most, besides how good the gelato was, is that I really like in Italy, they offer you always get offered water when you go to Italy, and they're going to ask you if you want still water, or do they say what, bubbles, something like that. But what they're talking about, if you just want flat water, it's still bottled, flat, or one with bubbles. And I thought that was interesting. And they always bring you out the bottle, so it's not that they're not going back filling up your glass and stuff. They bring out your glass, and then there's a big glass bottle of water that you pour for yourself. So I thought that was interesting. Let's see. Paris. Believe it or not, I have not been to Paris yet, but I will be there in May. So sorry, I'm trying to do some technical stuff. While I was, hopefully the connection sounds good. I was getting a little signal that something may have been off. Anyway, in South Africa, let's see what shocked me in South Africa. I was shocked how good the vanilla ice cream was, because that's not my, I don't hate vanilla ice cream, but it's not, that's not my jam. That's not what I run to. Like, let me just go get some vanilla ice cream. But I was shocked how it's just got this really rich, uh, pure taste to it. It's really good. So I was shocked with the vanilla. I was shocked how much I like oxtails. I was shocked how much fast food there is available. I'll tell you something I did not like in South Africa. South Africa puts their burgers in a barbecue sauce. Now, I'm not saying I've never had barbecue sauce on a burger, but it's a tangier barbecue sauce and it's dripping. So it's like they pull out the meat and it's just like dripping in sauce. And that's how they serve their burgers. Even at McDonald's, you can look on the menu and all of their burgers have that sauce in it. That's just how they eat it. I wasn't fond of that. And I think I had one burger and I was like, I don't need another one. Somebody else started ordering that was on the trip. She ordered a burger, but would ask them, please don't put the sauce on it. They looked at her a little crazy, but it was a lot for me to, I didn't too much care for that. So that wasn't the best. And the South African food, it's a lot. I don't want to call it blander. They don't use as much salt as we did, which really isn't a bad thing, because the United States, we have such high blood pressure rates. They don't use as much salt, and you have to get used to that. And it was a lot of vegetables aren't at the forefront, but they had some good restaurants. They had good Italian restaurants, steak restaurants. They have some pretty good things, and you will find American chains there. So that was the thing. Yeah, I guess I can get shocked with foods, but nothing so far has just, blown me to the point of just like, oh my God. But those were the standouts for me. Anybody, I hope I answered your question well. Anybody else have some questions? Andrea didn't chime in with what she thought sounds delicious. I think she may have been talking about the lemonade in Dubai. And if she was, yes, it was really refreshing. Dubai was also something that not everybody likes the food in Dubai, or at least the people I'm with. You just have to find what you like. Some things were just, oh yeah, I really like that. That was good. And then some things like, oh, I don't have to have that again. That's the way I kind of go with things. And then when you find something, you stick with it or order some more of it, that kind of thing. I'm just somebody who recognizes that it's a different place. People like different things. And sometimes just because somebody doesn't cook it the way you cook it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means it's not what you're used to. Okay, this question. Do you taste less processing and less additives in food abroad compared to the US? Definitely. Absolutely, positively, definitely taste less processing. Like I said, the food in Italy, those sauces and stuff, much more fresh. In South Africa, it was much more natural herbs and vegetables and stuff like that being put into the cuisine. So we are definitely a processed nation. I think England may compare to us with some of its foods, because I don't think those baked beans they eat for breakfast are necessarily fresh. I think those are coming out of a can or something like that. But compared to some of these other countries, yes, definitely it is. We are way more processed, and so that's another thing. Like it's interesting to taste, the pure the pure food behind it. I'm not gonna say everything is like that, but we are the United States is much more processed in their food. Thanks for answering all of my foodie questions. You are more than welcome. Thank you for asking them, because you made me think of things that I may have forgotten about. All right. So again, like I said, I hope that helped you. I hope that has given you some confidence on your next trip, even if you're not leaving the United States. Still, there are some things that are just so unique to the area that you're visiting that, give it a try. Try something new, even if it's something you heard of and you're somewhere else. Go ahead and that's your time to do it, is when you're on vacation. I don't see any more questions or comments coming in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in like you always do. I appreciate it. Go out, have you some fun this weekend. Remember to stay safe. Maybe try a new dish, or hit up something like that. And next time you go on a trip, take a picture of a dish. And I'm sorry I didn't show y'all some pictures. I should have shown you a picture of the octopus. Next time, just go ahead, take a pic and stuff and share it with us. Let's see. Thank you, Trudy. I'm glad it helped. That makes me feel good, because sometimes I really hope this information is helping them with their trips or travel plans and things like that. So thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting me and supporting this. Go ahead, like I said, if you're on the YouTube channel, thank you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. We're trying to work on getting some things going on YouTube. You can always catch past replays of these Travel Talk Lives, but we're trying to get some more information on there. If you are in the Facebook group, thank you again. Also, go ahead and if you're in a Facebook group, you can always post your questions there as well, your travel questions or your travel food questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them. So everyone, please go out. Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. That was a very good subject. I appreciate it. Y'all, please go ahead. Have a great weekend. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.